Oh yeah, I got my new Genestealer Cult Codex.
Huzzah!
And there's a lot of nerfs and a lot of annoying changes in it. One of which is there's a new detachment for Brood Brother Auxilia. Mm-hmm. But that is now the only way you're allowed Brood Brothers in your Genestealer Cult.
God, because I had heard that you were still going to be able to do it, but this one was going to like be the best one for it.
No, it's the only way. You literally can't have them unless you take this detachment.
That sucks.
It really sucks because they don't have a lot of unit types.
And it's not even like they're the most powerful things that you could drop into these armies anyway.
They were always like a weak thing that was cool for flavor and added a little bit of like variety.
Oh, super lame.
Not only that, but this detachment is also fucking shit.
Oh. Well, we saw like one of the rules, which was like, you can shoot at your squad if it's in combat.
Yeah. For 2 CPs.
2 CPs.
Or you could just fall back and everyone could shoot them for no CPs.
Leave combat. And also they take mortal wounds, right?
Yeah, you kill your own guys as well, yeah.
Which, like, even if you're doing, like, a desperate breakout or something,
yeah,
you're going to take less wounds, and it doesn't cost you 2 CP.
Yeah.
Is
just a horrible... Literally, it might be the worst stratagem in 40k.
If it gave you suddenly +1 to hit and +1 to wound, you'd be like, ooh.
Yeah, I'll risk some of my guys for a damage buff.
Yeah, our boys go in and like, you know, dogpile on them and we just like light them up. You'd be like, holy shit, it's worth it because, you know, I kill my guys, but I'm much better at killing yours. But just as it is, ugh,
yeah,
so bad.
Being terrible. So what you do is you lose all the Imperial Guard special rules when you take Brood Brothers. So you lose all the orders, you lose like the lethal hits on all your guns. Big downgrade. And in return, you get a rule that is if an Imperial Guard Brood Brother unit shoots an enemy and shoots all of its guns at that same enemy, then your Genestealer Cult units get +1 to hit that same enemy later that turn. But only for shooting.
That doesn't seem very good at all.
No, the shooting powerhouse of Genestealer Cult units.
Well, that doesn't seem very good. That doesn't seem very good at all, man.
That's your fucking army rule. Also, the other army rule that Genestealer Cults have where your stuff comes back doesn't apply to any of the Brood Brothers.
Wow.
So all these Brood Brother units are just worse than Imperial Guard and worse than Genestealer Cult units. It's just insanely thought out. It's instead of having this like weird combined arms, military, insurgency combo power group.
Yeah.
You just have like, what if Imperial Guard were shit? But you also could have some Genestealers there. It just boggles my brain. I don't know what they were thinking.
So bad. It's so disappointing. Do they even playtest this? Genuinely.
Well, no, they've got to make 20 codexes in a year. So
yeah,
clearly they're not playtesting these.
Like some of them, I think they just get phoned in. Maybe this is from, you know, the B team.
It's absolutely from the B team.
Because I heard, yeah, like the Sisters of Battle one was meant to be very cool. Like really fun, really good, really thematic forces. And everyone loved them. But not...
Yeah, that seems to be the way it's happened with every release. There's been one cool one and one shit one.
Yeah. People like kind of get a bit fucked over.
Just spin the wheel. It just feels bad when like a lot of my models, I look at their rules and I'm just like, this can't be, this would have to be so cheap to me to consider taking it. Things like the Magus and the Keelomorph, who are like some of my favorite characters.
God, the Keelomorph, one of my favorite models in Warhammer.
And I just look at it and I just think, I might use it if it was 20 points. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's how bad that stat line is.
Yeah, holy shit. Yeah. Not so good. But like, it would suck if they just lower the points and everything.
Oh god, yeah. Well, then you got to buy more models.
You're just going to buy a ton more models. Like, yeah, you know, I wish the rules were a bit more interesting, a bit more fun. Like, you know, they kind of like really nailed it with the orcs. From what I've heard, the Sister of Battle, there's like tons of really fun detachments in that. Chaos had a load of really cool
Chaos
things.
Codex is really cool. I'm excited to basically use my Dark Angels as Chaos now, because there's like 5 different detachments I want to try out. There's like loads of cool stuff to do with them.
Yeah, and they just look fun to play, that you can do some wacky stuff. Whereas, yeah, like if you're just kind of getting some bland things, and if the units are a bit mediocre, like I think it puts me off more knowing that they're kind of boring rather than they're not good.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? Like, if they were just really powerful and low price, sure, you'd win some games with them, but that doesn't make them more fun to plan armies and to play with. Yeah, that's why when the Genestealer cults first came out in the Index, like the concept of like this infinite wave assault sounded really cool. Nightmare to balance, obviously.
Yeah, really hard.
But they've just hit that rule so hard now that it effectively you can assume you will never get a unit back. And that's where it stops being fun, because it feels like I'm doing all this busy work and I'm measuring stuff and I'm doing stuff.
Yeah.
Never going to have an impact on the game.
But yeah, it's so easy to like counter, and yeah, kind of sucks. Suddenly for units endlessly respawning is impossible to balance. I think you can. They've done it a couple of times.
Yeah, done it in Space Hulk.
But in the guard for whatever it is,
they've got a stratagem where they
2 CP.
Yeah,
you can bring back a squad.
Yep. Tyranids can do it with like Termagants.
Yeah, like they've got their like Termagant Swarm, the Endless Horde or whatever it's called. I can't remember.
If you make it cost something like command points as a resource you can use for other things.
Yeah.
And you make them, come on from far away and only a certain unit type, you can totally balance it.
Yeah. I think like if you can just bring, even if it was as simple as just you can bring back battle line units. If it's a 10-man squad, it's 1 CP. If it's a 20-man squad, it's 2 CP.
Perfect.
Boom. And so then there's that balancing act of, well, 2 CP is a lot, but I can only use this strat once per turn, and so maybe it is better to, well, I might have a squad of 10 and a squad of 20, because then if they die, I can bring them back. Like, instantly, if the rules works like that, I would be so much more on board with them.
Absolutely, yeah. And you make it so that those units can never be like super strong.
Yeah. Like
you make their stat lines be like, there's going to be like these guys are going to be recycling. They need to be a bit crappy and cannon foddery. Not like a big unit of 20 orc boys that's going to steamroll everything.
Yeah. And I think like the neophytes and acolytes, like doing the same with a squad of 5 or a squad of 10, because that squad of 10 acolytes, whoa, a bit spookier. But
then that costs 2 CPs.
Yeah, and I think instantly that is the way that you could balance it out.
Yeah, and probably don't let them have their demo charges restocked.
Yeah, I think like that is definitely a fix that I think you kind of need to do.
Although they've nerfed the hell out of demo charges now, so they're not so bad.
Yeah, just make them worse and have them zipping out and just doing a big bomb. Like that's kind of what I'd want to do. I think that would solve all the problems, and it means that you don't have those games where I rolled all the 5+. You have to fight an army and a half.
Yeah.
Or I rolled none of the 5+. I paid a lot of points for that ability.
It did nothing. Exactly. You need it to be way more consistent and manageable with your resources. Or you come up with an entirely new mechanic, like the Thousand Sons have got their like magic points, and every turn they can they count up all their wizards. They have so many magic points, and they pick a spell or a combination of spells from their list. They're like, we're going to do the ritual of whatever, or the corn of the blood point.
Oh man, like
you do the same with the Genestealer cult. You count up, maybe you can do actions that generate more. You can raise the banners and send out the call.
Yeah,
and that generates more cult points. And when units die, you get a point back or something like that. And then you save up all your points and you spend them on respawning something.
I'd love that. That would be so much more fun. I really like the
guy with the megaphone. If he can just make a point a turn if he's not in combat.
Exactly.
So suddenly the enemy's like, shut that man up. He's calling up.
Would be like, so good.
Boys.
I'm instantly on board. That is like is thematic and it's cool. Suddenly bolting all of those into each of the things and have it like do a stratagem. If one of your character gets killed, be like martyrdom, and
that's more points.
It's D6 magic points for you,
and you split it so that like the aberrant and the pure strains and the real hitty stuff, the broodlord, none of them generate like cult points, because they're actually good at killing. And then you have the other characters like the megaphone guy and the wizard guy, the weaker characters. And that's what they do. They're just there to lift your leadership and to generate points. And so you're spending points in your army list on the respawn mechanic.
Yeah.
You know? That's how you balance it.
I think if you did like a cross between the sisters getting their like fate dice,
Miracle dice, yeah.
I think like a cross between that and like the World Eaters like rolling their things, and whatever you roll, that gets like put out into, they've got their magic corn board. Mm-hmm. Like if you were able to like use those dice in different ways. Oh, I save them all up and I do something bigger and cooler with them. Or, great, the IEDs go off. I get +1 AP to use on this unit.
Yeah.
This unit gets, +1 move or something. Like, just...
Yeah, exactly. You can spend the points to like buff your guys in the field, or you can save them up to spawn in more boys.
Yeah, like I think it would be so much fun. It'd be great, but...
And like making them appear nearer the enemy and come out of tunnels costs more than making them run on from the board edge.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, either. Well, I guess you could still do some level of putting down things as a blip, or you put them into strategic reserve where they can then deep strike or come in from table edges or stuff like that.
Yeah,
boom,
perfect. You just put a currency in that balances it for you.
Yeah,
you can spend points to make more of that currency, and your enemy can interrupt it by charging your units that are waving flags or killing your characters who are like, sermonizing. And then you've suddenly got this interactive thing where like, do you want to do your mission or do you want to stop me getting my points? And there's more choices to be made, and that's the bam. Solved.
Instantly, way more fun. Well, fuck it. Let's make our own.
Tom and Ben Hammer.
Just make our own rules for Gene Stealer cults.
Yeah,
I feel like that would not be too difficult for us to balance out. You can keep a lot of the other mechanics the same, but just bolt on a few little extra bits. Easy.
Yeah,
I'd be down.
I just instantly love the fact that Gene Stealer cults have got like 15 different minor characters, and this immediately gives them a way to interact with the game that's more interesting.
Yeah, exactly. Because if you have Keelamorph, every time he kills a character, get a load of points. And so
only if someone's there to watch him do it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? If there's some boys nearby.
That sort of vibe, like, because you want him to jump out and be like, boom, it's high noon to some fucking space marine and blast them and just twirl his pistols and everyone be like, hooray, he's the best. He's our hero.
And you give him a rule where he's like, if you kill any models, you generate a point. But if you kill a character model, you get like 3 points.
Yeah.
And so then you've got to make that choice of like, do I want to do the safe bet of just nailing a guy, or do I want to risk trying to kill their character, which on these stats is 50-50? Like,
yeah, but it's cool.
But it's way cooler, and everyone claps.
Much cooler. I really want that. That would be ace.
And then you have, the map nerd guy.
Yeah.
He gives you a new option that you can spend your cult points in a different way that you couldn't before, because map nerd's here to move your blips around and stuff.
Yeah, like that instantly makes sense. I think if you could do having the your Magus or your Patriarch doing some kind of I swear there was like a thing. There was a time in, was it Warhammer or was it in something else? Where like you could like read someone's mind? You did like a like a Battle of the Wills type thing, and did you get like VPs or something? Was that in like 9th Ed or something like that?
Oh, yeah.
This?
Yeah, no, you're right. Maybe it was 8th. There was a spell where you could like brain off and steal points.
And it got you like victory points.
Yeah, I think it's one of the secondary objectives that anyone could pick, but you had to have like a lot of psychers to make it worth picking.
Yeah. And I think, like, suddenly, if you could be doing that, they can do a thing on a character, and that generates you points as you read their minds, and that's getting you better battlefield intel.
I like that. That's cool.
I am in. This sounds ace.
Love it. Okay, we're going to fix Warhammer one fucking codex at a time.